The Nigerian facility management services market has witnessed significant growth over the past decade owing to the rise in investments in construction and public infrastructure industry. In addition, rising awareness among individuals towards protecting their assets has fueled the increased demand for Nigeria's facility management service market. Now, before the COVID-19 pandemic, the Nigerian facility management services market was valued at $8.4 billion in 2019 and is projected to reach $12.7 billion by 2027, registering a compound annual growth rate of 6.4% from 2020 to 2027. With a dampening impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the construction industry, coupled with uncertain economic conditions in the country, it's expected to hamper the growth of the market. On the other hand, growth in investments and incentives by government for the construction industry and infrastructure sector is anticipated to offer remunerative opportunities for the market growth. Further increase in investment in commercial infrastructure is expected to create the need for effective facility management solutions such as security, cleaning, and catering in the country. To discuss this and more, I introduced him earlier. I have joining me the president of the International Facility Management Association, Nigerian chapter, Mr. Segun Adebayo. Mr. Adebayo, good afternoon to you and happy Eid al-Fitr.
Thank you.
It's great to have you, and happy Management Day, your event yesterday and all of that. Now, facility management industry has of course been around for some time. While yet is not being visible in national economy. Now, what challenges do you really think is responsible for all of this?
Thank you. I think visibility has to be discussed in the proper context.
Okay.
Visibility in terms of impact and visibility in terms of awareness. I think I have to say clearly that putting it in proper context should be what do we see as visibility in private sector,
okay,
and what we see as visibility in the public sector. You agree with me that private sector form about 70% of the projections you just made now in your intro, and clearly it is not only visible in private sector, it's also impactful, if you ask me. And that will also have a direct impact on public sector. Now, for public sector, is growing. Again, because we've been dealing with the issue of awareness, understanding, maintenance culture, and also practice. That has also really deepened the level of knowing what is happening in that sector. But I think it's a growing concern in terms of impactful and effective visibility in public sector. Although you can't take the two away, because the effect of private also had positive impact on the GDP of the national. But again, I think the challenge is for us to take full responsibility and ownership of what we need to understand the value of FM to the attendant impact on national development.
I want to know, what's the role of a facility manager in project and construction management, especially in the face of sustainability?
Our role is crucial. Our role is very germane. Facility management's role is very critical to sustainability of every facility. And this engagement has been on for a very long time. You see, we need to understand the importance of a facility manager. You also know the value of a facility manager when someone that is constructing a property leaves the site, because you hand over to a facility manager. And that brings to the fact that for you to start a project, you must identify that role, acknowledge it, and also put it into action by engaging a facility manager at the inception of your project. This is very key, and that's what we call sustainability. Because if that's not done, then you have a challenge of efficiency and enhancement of the life value of that asset you want to manage.
Now, looking at growth in investments now, that's another angle to look at it. We have airports, rails, and all of that going all across the country, highways. The prospects of stronger penetration of facility management is still threatened. Because by lack of maintenance culture and, because we formed that in this part of the world, unappreciated response to these assets over the years. We even know some assets are just lying fallow, and these are really can get money back to the government if they are so. But what do you make of your role in the prospect of this?
I think our role, as a president of IFMAR,
yes,
Nigerian chapter, collectively as the association,
yes,
it's to take it beyond where it is now. We have engaged some public agencies that has this infrastructure development under their purview, and we're open to partnership Pro bono. We are open to support that infrastructure that government is developing because it will be good for all. And clearly, I think government is also beginning to see that our role is important, not only because of the intention to do what they are doing, but again to also admit that this is very critical for the sustainability of those assets. I'm aware that IFMAR have been part of a policy, a federal government policy under the Ministry of Works and Housing, where they've created a department that is responsible for public institutions and infrastructure. And that department, we've been working with them in terms of capacity building, knowledge development, to also raise awareness across public infrastructures on the need to have a critical facility management strategies. And we also, as a progressive association, very proactive indeed, we reached out to federal government when the National Theatre Initiative was brought upon.
Okay.
And the response has been positive in a way that we also offer our support to also begin to see how that project will also see the light of the day. So I think there are plans in place. It's just for us to have the will to put that plans into action. And at any point in time, whenever you call upon IFMAR with over 1,000 professional members, will be available to provide support to government because it's our country.
What about issues of a scarcity of skilled workforce? This limits growth one way or the other, especially with sectors like tourism, hospitality, and real estate. This is very sensitive. How do we address or bridge this gap?
Okay, I think I have to agree that there's a challenge, but again, it's also surmountable.
Okay,
it's not a showstopper. For us in IFMAR, one of the things we are also putting together now is to engage those workmen that we call the artisans. We're going to engage them and also make them see the economic value and the impact of their delivering their services properly and very well, professionally so too anyway. So we have them. We just need to harness the numbers, bring them into proper platform, engage them professionally, and also make them see that their orientation drives value, and this must be actualized. So it's a going concern, it's engagement and engagement and engagement. And we know that we have the numbers, we have the population here that will do wonders. But we also need to go after them, bring them into the bucket, and make sure that they are also aware of the value they could also deliver, and it brings livelihood to everyone. So it's a challenge, but I think it's surmountable.
COVID-19, and even it rose with your team this year. Everybody's roping, all teams are all around COVID-19. We know what has happened globally and all of that. How has this affected FM one way or the other, and what are the prospects as we get off it? Because
FM is life, so there are ups and downs, but not completely bad, if you ask me, my opinion. For a facility that is shut down, you still need an element of FM happening in those facilities.
True.
No doubt. I mean, security must be there to ensure the place is protected. Occasional cleaning so I don't get it bad, because you're not closing forever. It's just temporary.
Yes.
So the space or the pace at which work is done has dropped because there's reduction in activities. So you don't have all the janitorial cleaners at work because there's no work at a full capacity. So clearly it's dropped. But for the essential services providers, the pharmaceutical companies, the public institutions, even your studio here, you have to tell us what is happening in the whole world. We require a full throttle and full level of facility management activities. So in that area where you need essential people at work, there's an increment of services. But where we have to shut down, which forms the major part of the economy, the services must have reduced to about 80 to 70%. But again, what you lose by the bend, maybe you gain on the highway. Because by the time you also reopen that facility, you must do a comprehensive cleaning of that area and also bring everybody back to bear for the job to recommence.
So let's now look at new growth in investment and incentives by government. What do you anticipate will offer remunerative opportunities for this FM market?
FM market is huge.
Really huge.
If you ask me, it forms a critical part of the future of this nation. So all hands must be on deck for everybody to get involved now. For us, advocacy awareness is ongoing, and it's important for the big spender, which is government now, to also understand the need for them to begin to invest in strategic areas of the built environment, especially from the ecosystem of the green the capacity building and development of people, and also to support the upcoming institutions in terms of bailouts, where we have to apply that word. Because clearly, you increase the value of a facility if it's properly maintained. And where we have challenges around sourcing from materials outside the country is also a challenge. So government also needs to support the local content industry so that we can be able to survive and serve ourselves locally without need to go out of the country. So it's important the big spender, government and other stakeholders to invest reasonably in the FM market.
Your post, president of the IFME, right? Nigerian chapter. What are your plans? What are more plans? I know a lot is already on ground, but tell us more. Your members want to hear. Yes, you're on air. Tell us what more we should expect. COVID-19 is gradually winding down, but at least government says we still need to be careful, and that is true. Yeah. We see what's happening in Brazil. We see what's happening in India and all of that. But what's your message? What are you telling members at the moment and colleagues?
Well, the moment I was inaugurated and then with my colleagues, clearly we had our plans and we are beginning to activate that.
True.
We're going to drive our platform on innovation and technology. I mean, in line with current realities. And we're also doing quite a number of revamping and re-engaging our strategic collaborators. And then we are driving our new purpose around leveraging on technology and innovations. We're driving our purpose around capacity building, research and development. We also, just yesterday at the World FM Day, we introduced and launched a mentorship development initiative.
We have that report later today.
To catch them young. I mean, we engaged the government technical students, we engaged the undergraduates from the University of Lagos, and the master's degree holders too. Beyond the fact that we know that this is our future, we also need to also get them in the mood of ready and willingness to see value ahead of them. And for us, it's very critical that that needs to be achieved. Then because we are also in an environment whereby we need to give back, we have also introduced what I call a corporate social responsibility initiative, where at intervals, we'll be going out there to engage people and increase awareness. And we want people to be able to be responsible, for the space you find yourself, because a little drop makes big, you know what I mean? So as a matter of fact, for us as a council, we are committed to drive our initiative through innovation and technology. I mean, we're also trying to engage our members, those that have not been functional, to come back and see the value we're all collectively trying to push. So it's an engagement that will also lead us to a more better, effective and efficient built environment. So for us, I mean, next year, IFMAR Nigerian chapter will be 25 years, and that will be a very big one for us. But again, we're laying a foundation to make that a bigger one for us.
All right, before I let you go, there must be some challenges and what you want from government to also support you activate or actualize some of these your plans. Let's wrap up on that.
Clearly, improve support, attention, and audience. It's important for us to acknowledge that the market of FM is huge, and it could transform our nation beyond our imagination. So we would like to appeal to government to give us audience, to give us attention, to hear us out. And critically, from our point as an association, we're also trying to break into the ranks using sector analysis, as it were. So we're engaging some strategic public sector to tell them that this is what we can do together, this is how we can collaborate. And I think we are making gradual headway. Particularly Lagos State government have been quite supportive, I must say here, because at our functions yesterday, we have quite a number of head of agencies, attending and contributing to what we are doing. And they'll be part of us. IFMAR, the foremost FM public institution, have been so supportive, I must say here. And they were also there yesterday. So we are moving gradually. We're moving gradually. And I'm sure we'll get there.
Well, it's a good way to leave it. I must thank you very much there. And I love that line, build our nation beyond imagination. Yeah. It's key. And we're sure all our FM team, they were ready to actualize this. We are sure you're ready.
Yes,
thank you so much. I've been speaking to the president of the International Facility Management Association, Nigerian chapter, Mr. Segun Adebayo. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. We always appreciate it when you come to the studio like this, because we know it's not easy to leave your comfort of your homes and, on a holiday and come here. We really appreciate this again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, there. We hope to see you again soon to update us on what's playing out in the sector.
Very soon.